Hey, this is Ralph, and in this video I want to look at some more skills for the Microsoft Excel certification test, MO200. Now let's see, I want to focus specifically on formatting cells and ranges, and then within that, applying number formats, apply cell formats from the Format Cells dialog box, apply cell styles, and clear cell formatting. Now to practice with these, I've got a worksheet with some data on it, including some numerical data. Now, applying formatting to this numerical data is going to be pretty easy. I can select a column of numbers here, so I'm selecting the 2021 gross sales for the different genre of movies. Now, I have a few choices. There's a drop-down menu right here on the home ribbon with the most common number formats. So if I wanted to, I could just put this as a number. However, these are meant to be dollar values. So for something like that, I might choose between currency and accounting. So what's the difference? Well, if I do currency, I'm going to get what's called a floating dollar point sign. So the dollar sign is right next to the number. But if I choose accounting, I'm going to get a fixed dollar sign. Dollar sign is all the way over there to the far left of the cell. And I'm going to go ahead and decrease decimal places. So that's a quick way to format. Now, if I hadn't done this, I could have selected these cells and just chosen the little accounting number format button right there. It's a little quick click and pop that in. Notice if I do this drop down, I do get some other currency symbols. However, this is not actually going to translate into the other currency. It just puts that symbol on there. So don't assume you're getting accurate data if you change out the dollar sign or the symbol. Okay, so that's one way to go. Now for something like tickets, that's a whole number. And for share, that should be a percentage. But let me show you another way that we can change this, and that's with the Format Cells dialog box. I'm going to go ahead and select these range of cells here, these ticket sales, and I'm going to click on the command group for font. That's going to open up the Format Cells dialog box, where I can pretty much do all the stuff I've done before, plus a few extra things. So here's all my number formattings that I could have gotten from the home ribbon. I'll just choose number there. Decimal places, I'll go ahead and change that to 0. Do I want to use a comma separator? I do. So I'm going to do that. There's options for alignment. So if I wanted to shift this text up and at an angle or something like that, I don't really want to do that for data, although that could come in handy for column headers. Notice there's options for wrapping text and things like that. We got our standard font controls, font family, font size, and all that fun stuff. Border control, let's play around with borders later on. Same thing with fill, the background colors, the fill color, the shading of the particular cell. And protection if we want to lock or unlock or hide particular cells. So really the only thing I'm changing on here is the number formatting, but using the Format Cells dialog box. I'll go ahead and click OK, and those are formatted. I'm going to select these numbers that are these decimal percentages here, and I'm going to go ahead and click the percent style, and I will show a decimal. A quick little trick, I can click right down there at the bottom of that, and I can press Alt equals on my keyboard to instantly put in a sum. And I see that these actually sum out to 99.9, so there's probably just some small fractional data that wasn't included, but otherwise there we go. So we formatted those particular numbers. Now it can also apply some default cell styles, and this is quick and easy, especially if you want a consistent look to your tables. I can select the cells that go across the top here that are my header, A1 through E1, and I can use the style drop down to pick a canned style that I think looks good. I'll choose heading 1 right there. And while I'm here, I'm going to select B1 through E1, and I'm going to change the alignment to the right. Since number data is by default aligned to the right of the cells, and I don't necessarily want you to change that, it might be nice to have our heading labels aligned to the right too, so that they're more on top of that piece of data. I'll go down to this total cell that I have, choose my styles, and they actually have one for total, which is nice because it'll show the single border top and the double border bottom. However, it did make the font size a little bit smaller, so I'll go ahead and select that and just increase my font size. And last but not least, we can also get rid of formatting. So if I decided that I didn't want to format these as an accounting style, I can select those range of numbers. On my home ribbon, all the way to the far right, there's an option to clear. And of course, I could do something like clear contents, which is pretty much like hitting the delete key, or I can just clear the formats. I'm going to click clear formats. The numbers are in there, but I've lost my font size, I've lost the commas, I've lost the dollar signs and things like that. Everything's back to a default. I could click on one particular cell that I like the formatting of, choose my format painter, and then select the cells I want to apply that formatting to. So now I get that number style without the decimals, but also without the dollar sign. But I could always jump back here, click on accounting, put that in, remove decimals, and I'm kind of back to where I was before. Okay, so that takes care of a bit of our Excel skills. Remember, this was under Format Cells and Ranges on the MO200 exam, particularly applying number formats, applying cell formats from the Format Cells dialog box, applying cell styles, and clear cell formatting. Excellent. Take care.